20 minutes.
Well,
Yeah, I figured out a way to do it on the TV just yesterday.
You guys
I didn't
just
know I could do it.
I don't want to be standing
maybe
up.
do you want?
maybe
Should we put chairs in the front here? We could just steal 2 chairs and plop them down in the front.
like right now and then?
No, like I wanna have this shot for when they see their, because we should have a few minutes while they
Oh, okay.
talk
I
about
wasn't
the
sure how
bracket.
much time we would.
We should have a few minutes, or at least 1 minute. So I think what I'd like to do is steal 2 chairs, put them in the front, and then Coach and I, and then we'll have some guys in the back.
Okay.
And we may block a few of you out. I apologize, but
We have 2 chairs in the basement. Do you want me to bring them up?
okay, sure. And then
Yeah,
we can have them
have them
off to
ready
the
to
side.
go.
We'll just quickly grab
Thank
them,
you.
put them in. Thank you.
Okay, we'll have to do that swiftly then.
I still don't hear anything.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either.
Yes.
What's up? Yep, go for it. Number 3 seed should be Westosha Central.
Okay, so we got that confirmed. Correct. All right, let the gold quest, or the quest of the gold ball, begin as we reveal the WIAA boys basketball brackets. Thank you for joining us this Sunday morning. I'm Pablo Iglesias. And I'm Luke Gamble. We're joined by Mark Miller, the man best known as the editor of the Wisconsin Basketball Yearbook. Mark, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, well, let's waste no time as we jump straight into some brackets and break things down for the run to the Kohl Center. Here are the seeds as given to us by the WIAA. We start in Division 1, and we're going to break this up by sectional. So starting in Sectional 1, Marshfield gets the number 1 seed. They'll play the winner of Wisconsin Rapids and Chippewa Falls. Appleton North hosts Kimberly. Kakana is the 5 seed and will play Wausau West. Then it's Eau Claire Memorial against Appleton East.
Filling out our sectional bracket here in Division 1, we have a little bit of a change here for the number 3 seed, but they will battle number 14 Hortonville. Nina draws Eau Claire North in the 6 versus 11. Then Holman and Appleton West face off. The winner takes on the 2-seeded Stevens Point, and just above, Hudson will meet DC Everest. And guys, we want to bring this back a little bit and chat a little bit about 2 teams at the top of the Wisconsin Valley Conference. Mark, Marshfield and Stevens Point, they're 2 good teams. The Tigers, though, they swept the season series, but still 2 great programs. What are your thoughts on these teams?
Yeah, I've seen both play, and I think Marshfield really does a great job controlling tempo and has a great guard in Brooks Hinson and an emerging sophomore forward in Chris Pohl, who's about 6'7" and can play inside and outside. Stevens Point, has another team that really likes to control tempo. They have good guard play. Those 2 teams are both very good, obviously, coming out of the Wisconsin Valley Conference. Superior at the number 3 seed, that one is always a mystery because they play, so many Minnesota schools. They've had a good year. They did get beat yesterday by Chippewa Falls, which was a little bit of a surprise. However, one of their best players did not play in that game. So Calvin Anderson did not play. So we'll see, how Superior does against Hortonville. It's a long drive for Hortonville to go up there, but Hortonville obviously being in the FEA, they're battle tested, so I'm sure they're going to get a very good game.
All right, well, let's keep it rolling here into the next bracket. De Pere, coming off a big win last night, getting a #1 seed. They await the winner of Green Bay Preble and Green Bay East. Oconomowoc faces off against Fond du Lac. Hamilton and Sheboygan go head-to-head in the 5-12 matchup. Then it's Homestead playing Manitowoc Lincoln.
Luke, how about the boys in 2B? We've got Tyrese Halliburton's alma mater, Oshkosh North, taking on Menominee Falls. That'll set up a meeting with either Germantown or Hartford United. Sheboygan North, at lucky number 7. They draw Bayport, and the Classic 8 leader currently, Arrowhead, will face Oshkosh West. And no surprises here, though, as Luke mentioned, the De Pere Redbirds earning the #1 seed on their end. With 2 games to go, Brian Winchester's team stands at 21-1. That's a phenomenal record. They've got some hardware to defend as the reigning Division I champions. I caught up with Winchester about his team's postseason attitude.
You have to stay in the moment, stay in the present, understand that every possession really matters in the tournament. And they know that not everything is going to go perfectly. So they're not trying to create this magic every single game where everything has to be perfect. They just know tournament games come down to simple things, and they're going to do it in a tough, gritty way. And so I think that's their path, and that's the way they want to create, hopefully, another title run.
Half of the Division I bracket to reveal, but through 2 sectionals, what stands out to you so far?
Well, Sectional 2 is really loaded because you have Homestead, which is contending for the title in the North Shore, and then obviously De Pere, defending champion, won the Fox River Classic Conference. And then, in the other half, you got Oshkosh North, which won the Fox Valley Association, and Arrowhead, which won the Classic 8. So those teams are top 10 quality. For sure. And then you have some other teams in there that are a little bit of a landmine, if you will. You look at Hartford, Germantown, which finished second, I believe, to Marquette in the Greater Metro. That's a team that's certainly capable of pulling off some upsets or two. Same thing with Sussex Hamilton as the 5 seed. So that a potential matchup between Homestead and Hamilton in a sectional or a regional final will be a very good game.
Mark is telling us right here, well, we have to take a quick time out, but when we return, we'll have much more with the brackets on the other side of the break.
Meanwhile, teams around the state are awaiting their postseason fate. This is a live look at Bloomers boys team as we get closer to announcing who they'll play to start their run to the Kohl Center.
We'll have much more with the brackets on the other side.
Welcome back to the WIAA Boys State Basketball Bracket Reveal. We're halfway through Division 1. 2 more sectionals still to be seen.
Yeah, that's right, Luke. So let's move right along to sectional 3 and 4. Luke, take it away for us.
We pick it up with Kettle Moraine tipping things off with a top seed. Madison La Follette and Madison West will play in the opening rounds. Oregon and Madison East go head-to-head in the 8-9 matchup. Beloit Memorial hosts McGuanago. And at the bottom of this bracket, 4th-seeded Muskego against Madison Memorial.
Let's go to 3B now. Sun Prairie West, quite the year for the Wolves. They're in at number 3 versus 14th Badger. Sun Prairie East will face Verona in a 6 versus 11. Janesville, Craig, and Middleton will go at it. And rounding things out for this portion, it's Janesville Parker against Waunakee. And the home stretch of Division 1, our final sectional, Marquette is the top dog on this side. They'll face either West Allis, Hale, or Milwaukee Riverside, and then Kenosha Indian Trail in at 9, Milwaukee King at 8, then Racine Case at the 5 takes on Oak Creek. And finally, Battle of Brookfield's battle here as 4-seeded Central will go at it with 13th-seeded East.
All right, here is the final bracket for D1. Now, this bracket says New Richmond will host Milwaukee Reagan. This should be Westosha Central as the 3 seed. So what you're seeing at the top left of your screen, that should be Westosha Central coming in at number 3. West Allis Central will go against Franklin. Milwaukee Pulaski matching up against Kenosha Bradford. Kenosha Trimper and Racine Horlick battle to see who faces 2nd-seeded Milwaukee Hamilton. All right, so we've got the entire picture of the Division 1 bracket, Mark. Any surprises from that half of the Division 1 bracket?
Not necessarily. I mean, you'd have to examine it a little closer, but I think Marquette getting the 1 seed was not a surprise in sectional 4. They've played a great schedule, and they've won 19 games already. They just beat Sun Prairie West last night. Sun Prairie West getting a 3 seed. I think that things are looking pretty good for them, although they're probably not overly excited about the potential of playing Sun Prairie East in a regional. Those city schools. I'm sure Brookfield too. They don't like to play each other again.
Right.
So geez, here we go again. But no, not really any huge surprises. It'd be exciting to see how everything shakes out.
All right, well, coming up next, the Division 2 brackets are up next. Plus, we're going to have a live interview with a guy who loves to talk about basketball, Stoughton head coach. Coach Nolan Weber joins us in studio. Do not go anywhere. Folks, we are just getting started. It's just about tourney time, guys, and welcome back to the WIAA Bracket Reveal Show. A fun Sunday for us as we just keep on going.
Well, we've got one division down, 4 more to go, so let's dive right into the Division II Sectional 1 bracket. We kick off Division II with Wausau East as the top seed. Merrill and Ashland go head-to-head in the first round in the 5-12 game. It'll be Rhinelander against Hayward, with the winner playing Rice Lake. New Richmond gets a bye as the 3 seed. They play either Medford or Antigo. River Falls earns a 2 seed and will host the winner of Lakeland and Menominee.
Luke, I know you're asking who is number 1 on this side. Why? It's West Salem earning those honors, rather. They'll either get La Crosse Logan or Shawano. Then it's Onalaska and New London in the head-to-head. On the other side, it's Mosedy coming in at 3. Seymour or Toma will advance to face them. And number 2 seeded Fox Valley Lutheran will have either La Crosse Central or Sparta.
Well, a team trending up in Division II right now, West Salem, ranked number 6 this week, 17-2 on the season. Here's WXOW Sports Director Scott Emmerich with more.
Well, West Salem has appeared in the last 2 Division III championships, this year moving up to Division II. Mark Wagner, West Salem head coach. Does that change things for you guys at all as far as preparation and how you might go about the playoffs?
It really doesn't. You're going to see a lot of great basketball teams in Division III. You see great basketball teams in Division II, and it's really a matter of playing your best basketball at the end of the year. And hopefully right now I feel like offensively we're doing a lot of things well, and if we can shore up a few things defensively, I think we'll have a chance every night.
You know, you guys were a very senior-laden team last year, very talented. Some new faces this year. How has this team come together?
Well, yeah, we have different faces, like you said, in different skill level. We're a much smaller team this year, and we've relied a lot more on the three-point shot than last year. We had the bigger bodies inside with Brett and Peter, and they could kind of take over a game inside and give us an interior presence defensively. And this year, we play 3 guards and 3 guards under 6 foot, so our game has kind of become more of a perimeter game this year, and we still try and get up and down the floor and play fast, but now it seems like a lot more shots from the arc than at the basket.
Well, fast indeed. West Salem averaging over 80 points a game this season. We'll see if they got a run in them in the Division II playoffs. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. Well, let's get right back to the brackets with the Schwabenon earning a 1 seed here. Marinette and West Bend East are just below that. Pulaski hosts Green Bay Southwest, with the winner moving on to play West Bend West. Then we've got West up here awaiting the winner of Notre Dame and Luxembourg Casco. Menasha plays Green Bay West, and Plymouth hosts the winner of that one as the 2 seed.
You had a lot of West on that side. Nicolay, we see you out there as the top dog at number 1. They'll get the winners of Milwaukee Arts and Milwaukee Madison. Then the battle of 4 versus 5, Grafton and Slinger. Milwaukee Vincent slotted at the number 3. Whitefish Bay and Shorewood will go at it in the 6v11. Then we've got number 7, Obama SCTE, and number 10, Port Washington. Winner advances to challenge number 2, Cedarburg. And Mark, a team everyone has been talking about this year is Wisconsin Lutheran, especially when you have a 6'5" Duke commit in Con Knipple. What else makes this group really special?
Well, it starts with Con. His ability to make others better is what really stands out when you watch him play. His passing, his vision, his anticipation. And, his teammates have all really stepped up. Logan Reinflush is going to Oshkosh next year, and he's had that. There he is right there, number 12. He's had a great season for Wisco. I think, you look at a guy like him, and then sophomore Xavier Zenz has really come along as the season has progressed. And then really all the guys that Coach Walls plays make contributions. So it's not just Con, it's the others too, but it starts with Con. The ball's in his hands almost all the time until he finds a cutter or somebody open for a layup. They're hoping to get Grayson Young back for the playoffs, and that would be a big thing for them from a defensive perspective because he can really guard.
Hey, defense wins championships. Well, let's close it out in Division II as we move on. That begins with number 1, Milwaukee, defending last year's title, either Milwaukee Marshall or Reedsburg. They're going to dethrone, or hopefully rather look to dethrone after that matchup. Milwaukee Lutheran and Wauwatosa East have the 5 versus 12. Winner takes on 4-seeded Forest Norskies. Wauwatosa West drawing the 3 seed, and they'll wait and see who comes out of the Watertown Baraboo Showdown. And meanwhile, Sauk Prairie and Portage, a first-round battle. Victor of that clash meets number 2, Beaver Dam.
All right, well, let's keep it going here with Stoughton as a number 1 seed. They'll play either Fort Atkinson or McFarland. Monroe hosts Monona Grove in the 4v5 matchup. On the other side, Milton gets the 3 seed. They'll see the winner of Jefferson and Whitewater. On the bottom half, Mount Horeb gets a bye to await the winner of Elkhorn and Delavan Darien. In Sectional 4, we start with Wisconsin Lutheran as the top seed. Then it's the Battle of Waukesha with North against South in the 8-9 matchup. Whitnall and Waterford face off in the second round. Pius Catholic gets a bye to face either New Berlin Eisenhower or Waukesha West. Then it'll be New Berlin West against Wilmot Union to see who gets to play second-seeded Burlington. In the final bracket for D2, it's Racine Park as the top seed. They'll play either Greendale or South Milwaukee. Martin Luther hosts Cudahy. The winner of that gets Greenfield. On the other side, Milwaukee South as a 3 seed. Milwaukee Bradley Tech and Milwaukee Bayview go head-to-head. Then it's Tenor Veritas against Union Grove. St. Augustine Prep awaits the winner of that one.
All right, let's move over here now. We are joined live by Stoughton's head coach, Nolan Weber. First and foremost, Coach, thanks for joining us. You know, you guys have had a great season, great roster makeup. You got 5 seniors, but I think the eye-popping thing is about 8 juniors on this team. Tell us a little bit about what each respective class brings.
Yeah, we have a great mix. It all starts with our 2 senior guards, Sawyer Shipper and Ty Fernholz, really run the show for us. And but on top of that, we got 2 really good big kids in Ben Harmon and Carter Sullivan. Really some young sophomore guards that help us a lot. And then a junior class, Jay Johnson, LeSean Brown, some really good athletic wings. Mason Richter really helps us. We have some depth. And we have a good combination of size and guard play.
And I mean, a perfect conference record so far. That's not an easy thing to attain, especially with the way the conference is realigned. How has that first year in Badger Small gone for you guys?
You know, it's been interesting. It's definitely been a little bit different. Obviously, Mount Horeb has had a really good year, and we played 2 really tight games with them. We've had some wins going away, but it's really been the consistency of our kids to maintain what they needed to do to win, to be 13-0 at this point in the conference.
All right, Coach, real quick, just the excitement. How excited are these guys for playoffs?
They're extremely excited. You know, we have a really experienced team that has been through a lot. We have many kids who have played 3 or 4 years of varsity basketball, and they've been waiting for this, even since last year, since McFarland knocked us off in this sectional semi. They've been waiting for this moment and this opportunity to get back and make another step.
Excited to see how your guys are going to respond. Hopefully we get to see you at the Cole Center just a few weeks. Meanwhile, let's take a trip to Chippewa Valley, and thanks to the magic of television, that can be done in a snap. Our Nick Tabbert is live with more.
Bloomer was the class of the Western Clover Belt Conference this season. The Blackhawks eagerly awaiting their Division III seed. We're not going to make them wait any longer. The D3 bracket after the break.
welcome back as we begin the path to the Kohl Center. The WIAA Basketball Bracket Reveal getting ready for Division III.
And this one should be one of the more competitive brackets that we see. So let's move to the matchup reveals. We've got number 1 Prescott, and they will take on either the winner of number 8 Amory or number 9 Barron. Then we move to St. Croix Central and number 12 Spooner. They'll take on number 4 Osceola. To the other side, it's number 3 Somerset, and they will take on the winner of number 6 Northwestern and St. Croix Fall. Then Ellsworth and Baldwin Woodville will go head-to-head. They're going to take on Bloomer after that one.
We move on now. Elk Mound is the number 1 seed in our next bracket. Altoona and Black River Falls match up in an 8 versus 9 game. Berlin hosts Adams Friendship. The winner of that one gets Wauwatomi. Gale Ettrick Tripolo is the 3 seed. Stanley Boyd hosts Winneconne. Then it's Arcadia and Ripon. The winner of that plays 2nd seeded Amro.
All right, Northland Pines and Amherst in 8 versus 9. The winner of that is going to advance to face the top-seeded number 1 Freedom. Then moving down from there, Tomahawk at number 12, Wittenberg and Burnham Wood at number 5. They're going to take on they will take on the number 4 of Wapaka, the winner of that one. And number 3, Clintonville, they're going to wait on number 11, Menominee Indian versus Sturgeon Bay at number 6. Then Peshtigo, we got that with number 7. Number 10, Oconto Falls, and the winner of that advances to face number 2, Southern Door.
In our next bracket, Kiel is the top seed. They'll host either Denmark or Chilton. Winnebago Lutheran gets a bye, and we'll see either Little Chute or North Fond du Lac. Brilliant is the 3 seed. Then it's Wrightstown against Campbellsport. Two Rivers hosts New Holstein, and the winner of that one moves on to play Xavier.
Still some games to play, but let's talk about the only unbeaten team here in Division III so far in Kiel. Mark, they're ranked 2nd right now in the state. What is it about this team? Do you think they could take it? What stands out to you about this group?
Yeah, you know that they play in the Eastern Wisconsin Conference, and they have produced some really good teams in the last few years, some state champions, Brilliant and Roncalli in particular. And they've run the gamut so far. So they're a very good team. They're very experienced. Their point guard, Pierce Ahrens, is very skilled, very heady. And then they have a really good inside player at 6'6", Grant Mans, who can really rebound and score and step outside a little bit. And their other guys around those 2 stars are also experienced and very talented. Just looking at the bracket so far, one thing that stands out to me is that the Wisconsin Valley Conference really got a lot of respect. I mean, you got Marshfield number 1, you got Point number 2, and then you got Wausau East number 1 in D2. They're going to have to go out and prove that, because generally that league has not done great in the posting, other than Spash winning with Trev Anderson and the Hauser boys. So that was interesting. But you look at Kiel, they have a chance, but there's some really, really solid teams in Division III.
All right, well, let's see if they can prove it. And let's move on as we have Platteville earning a 1 seed in our next bracket. Mauston and Dodgeville face off in an 8-9 game. That'll be Prairie du Chien versus Evansville to see who moves on to play Lodi. Then we've got Wisconsin Dells as the 3 seed, awaiting the winner of Viroqua and Richland Center on the bottom half. The 2nd-seeded New Glarus, they'll face either River Valley or Edgewood.
All right, let's take a look now at 3B. Number 1, Lakeside Lutheran. They will await the winner of Lamira and Bigfoot. Then Edgerton will also await the winner of Turner and Mayville. To the other side, Waupun will see either East Troy or Waterton. Luther Prep and Lake Mills at the number 2. They are going to either face Columbus or Clinton after that 7 versus 10 game.
Well, we just saw them get a 2 seed, and it feels like a team to watch here could be Lake Mills. They're ranked 5th in the state. They've got a lot of multi-year starters with their upperclassmen. One of those guys is A.J. Bender, who recently broke the school scoring record, surpassing 1,400 points as a junior. But he's not the only one that can score. Coach saying they have to get a little more physical, but putting up points shouldn't be an issue for this team.
Their unselfishness and their passing is special. We shoot the ball really, really well, and we have a lot of guys that can score. But you never see guys getting greedy and taking bad shots. They all just kind of trust each other that, hey, if I make the right pass, then my teammate's going to do the same thing for me. And when you combine that with really good shooting and talented players, I think it makes a really good team.
Well, just a couple miles down the road, Lakeside Lutheran sits behind Lake Mills at 8th in the state rankings. The Warriors only have 2 losses on the season, which may surprise some people after they lost virtually all the rebounders and scorers from last year. Lakeside Lutheran's unique identity is what makes this group stand out.
To this point in time today, I just say we're just kind of a mix of guys who each do something a little bit well, and together as a team we've had a great year and just got off to a great start, won some games, built confidence, and here we sit. So it's been enjoyable watching them grow. From a coach perspective, I've loved this year because it's been team. You know, as they go through and for each of them to kind of find a niche, find a role, and you know, take pride in that, and then execute that's what makes it fun.
Brackets now in Division 3, Sectional 4, where Dominican is the top seed. Butler Collegiate goes head-to-head with the University School of Milwaukee. Oostburg faces off with Catholic Memorial. Then it's Carmen Northwest at number 4 against Brown Deer. Brookfield Academy earns a bye as the 3 seed. They'll face either Kettle Moraine Lutheran or Kewaskum Milwaukee School of Languages against Sheboygan Falls in the 7-10 matchup. The winner of that one will see 2-seeded Lake Country Lutheran.
All right, let's move on now. Number 1, St. Thomas More. They'll take on either St. Francis or St. Anthony after that 8 versus 9. We're seeing St. Catherine's gets the number 4 seed. Mesmer or Milwaukee North will take them on. Then on the other side, Audubon Technology, the number 3 seed. They will face either Goldemir or Cristo Rey Jesuit at the 6 versus 11. Then in the 7-10, it's Shoreland Lutheran and Milwaukee Washington battling it out. The winner advances to face Milwaukee Academy of Science.
Okay, well, that is the entire Division 3 bracket, Mark. A lot of people are talking about Division 3. Do you feel like this is one that could be a real toss-up?
Well, that sectional 4 is really loaded. You talk about Thomas More and St. Catherine's, and obviously Milwaukee Academy of Science. I mean, those teams all have Division 1 players. So whoever comes out of that sectional 4, to me, would be the favorite to win the state championship. Not that others won't have a say in it, of course, but I just think that you know, we're looking at a St. Cat's Thomas More regional final, possibly Academy of Science and Audubon. And then, you know, Brookfield Academy, Lake Country Lutheran, they're both members of the Midwest Classic. They played recently and Lake Country won, but they're very familiar with each other. And then, you know, you're looking at a Dominican Carmen Northwest potential regional final. And again, both those teams have Division I kids. So there's not a lot of sectionals where you can talk about multiple Division I kids, but this is one that you can do that.
Lots of talent, for sure. Well, let's talk a little more in depth about one of those teams that we just mentioned, Bloomer. They have just 1 loss so far on the season.
WQOW Sports Director Nick Tabbert joins us now live from the Blackhawks watch party. Nick, how are they feeling after finding out about this matchup?
Well, let's find out. I'm here with head coach Greg Van Grunsven. You get the 2 seed, and there's a couple teams that you've faced already this season in that bracket. Just your initial reaction to getting a 2 here.
Well, we're ready to get it cranked up, right? We've got 1 week left in the regular season to kind of hone our craft still, but we'll be excited and we'll be ready when that time comes to play the winner of Baldwin and Ellsworth.
And we were just talking here off camera that they knocked you out last year, and there's a chance that you could return the favor, avenge that loss this year.
Yeah, if chalk holds, we'll have an opportunity to host Baldwin. At the same time, you know, Ellsworth is a quality team as well. We had an opportunity to play both those teams late in the year. Ellsworth was really young last year, so we'll see how that one turns out. But our focus this time of the year really has got to be on us to start playing the best basketball that we possibly can. We think we're on the right track. Starting Friday night, we played really well, so we'll see where that goes.
How important is the bye?
How important is the bye? You know, we've had byes before, and we've had play on Tuesday night. The fact that we play Saturday kind of helps that there isn't too long of a break. So we play this coming week Tuesday, and then Saturday afternoon we play in the Clover Belt Championship game. So, you know, it gives us a couple extra days to continue to prepare and see how that Tuesday night game turns out.
Thoughts on this sectional overall? I mean, Somerset's in there, and you faced them earlier this season. Obviously, Prescott's the one. Just your thoughts overall here.
Well, you know, first and foremost, parity, right? You know, I think anytime you bring 3 conferences into play in the tournament, the middle border, our conference, the Western Clover Belt, and then the heart of the North, you try and kind of jockey yourself and see where you fit in here or there. We had an opportunity to play Somerset at UW Stout on a big floor, 10 feet longer. We had the lead with under a minute to go, and they end up making plays at the end. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, how those first couple round games go and see where, you know, some of these games lead us.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Thanks for having us over to your house for the watch party. Bloomer's a number 2 seed.
All right, interesting perspective there on the bye. Thanks so much, Nick. Well, this bracket reveal is just the beginning of a marathon that will be ran up until March. Coming up, we hear from a team that embodies that in D4 as we reveal their place in the bracket.
Welcome back to the WIAA Bracket Reveal Show for the boys basketball tournament.
Well, Division 4 is certainly shaping up to be a competitive one as we jump right back into the bracket. So let's kick off D4 with Unity as a #1 seed. They'll play either Cumberland or Grantsburg. Webster hosts Shatek Weyerhaeuser, and Ladysmith comes in at #4 against Cadott. On the opposite side, we've got Spring Valley awaiting the winner of McDonald Catholic and Boyceville. Cameron is the 2 seed. They'll host either Shell Lake or Colfax.
The next of D4, Durand, Arkansas comes in at #1. They'll get either Bangor or Whitehall. Osseo Fairchild and Mondovi will go head-to-head in the 5 against 12. Winner moves on to face #4 Fall Creek. Aquinas, they get the 3 seed and will take on either Regis or Augusta. Then #7 Neelsville and Melrose Mindoro square off. Number 2 Luther will await that winner.
In the other sectional 2 bracket, we have Marathon as a #1 seed. They play the winner of Colby and Crandon. 4th seeded Stratford awaits the winner of Washburn and Abbotsford. On the other side is the 3 seed Edgar. Swamagan host Iola Scandinavia. Then it's Phillips against Spencer to see who gets to play 2nd seeded Auburndale.
#1 Bon Duel will take on either #8 Valders or #9 Manawa. And then #5 Shiocton or #12 Mishicot will battle to face #4 Crevitt. Then #3 Kewanee will either await #6 Encanto or #11 Coleman. Rounding out the sectional portion, it's St. Mary Catholic that's named the #2 seed. Then Wyowego at #7 Fremont, and at #10 Algama will go head-to-head from there.
Well, the top team in Division 4 is Marathon, according to the Wiz Sports ranking. We just revealed them as a #1 seed. WAOW Sports Director Keegan Hewitt caught up with Coach Adam Jacobson about their postseason potential.
I'm here at Marathon High School with Coach Adam Jacobson. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. As your team heads into the postseason as one of those top-ranked, top threats in D4, what's kind of the mindset for your team rolling in?
Yeah, you know, you want to put yourself in a position to, host as many home games as you can and have your body of work prepare you for the postseason, which I think it has. And now we just have to go out there and play our best when it matters most, when it comes in, when the playoff comes, and if we happen to have a bye and, a team's already won a playoff game coming into our place. So, yeah, just have to take it, day by day, improve and be the best version of ourselves at that time.
It's obvious you have a special player like Grant Warren, the size, the stature, the ability to score. But I would say from watching you guys all year, it's the 4 guys around him, no matter who's coming off the bench. How much does that help to have guys that know where to be, to work the space, and to work around him, kind of propel the success?
Yeah, obviously Grant's a tremendous player. Has been a big leader of our program for a number of years. But I agree with you. Our balance, we've had 6 different guys lead us in scoring at some point throughout the year. We're a very willing and able passing team. We share the ball. Our kids really take pride in making the extra pass. And I hope that helps us along the road, because you never know what happens in a playoff game. But the ability to be balanced, the ability to share the basketball, I hope will help us in the long run.
And last one for you, Coach, kind of what are your expectations or what are the goals for this team? Obviously, it's to raise a gold ball. But in that, what are you kind of hoping for out of your guys as you move forward in the most critical month of the season?
Yeah, I think you just have to trust your preparation, trust what you put into it. And we said, I know there's a lot of external factors and things like that, but becoming the best we are capable of becoming, and playing our best when it matters most. And sometimes you do, and it still doesn't work out. But knowing that we did all we could to become the best we are capable of becoming, and that's all we can do. And hopefully that it is enough in March.
Awesome, and thank you, Coach. Best of luck moving forward. We'll send it back to you guys in studio.
All right, thank you so much, Keegan. Well, Luke, let's not waste any more time and jump into Sectional 3 of Division 4. We start with the top seed in this sectional. It's the Mineral Point Pointers. They're going to take on either number 9 Riverdale or number 8 Iowa Grant. Then moving down, it's number 5 Lancaster and number 12 Fenimore. They will face off. Then number 4 Cuba City will go at it with number 13 Parkville. Then we've got number 3 Belleville awaiting number 11 Boscobel at number 6, or facing number 6 Westby. Then number 7 Broadhead will face off with number 10 Wisconsin Heights, and the winner will draw number 2 Darlington.
All right, let's go to the next bracket. Partyville earns the top seed in our next bracket. They'll face either Poinette or Nakusa. Marshall plays host to Necedah. That winner moves on to a matchup with 4th-seeded Cambridge. Deerfield gets a bye as the 3 seed and will play Princeton, Green Lake, or Montello. On the bottom half, it's Randolph with the bye playing either Waterloo or Westfield. Okay, Mark, coming back out here. Darlington is the team right behind Marathon right now, second in the rankings. What stands out about them? What kind of potential do they have?
Well, they've had 2 really great games with Mineral Point this year in the SWAL, and both teams are really, really good. As far as Darlington goes, they have some experience and they have some youth, and they're really well coached. Coach Upton always does a really good job. With Brady Boucher on the perimeter as a sophomore, and then Murray inside with his size at 6'7", his ability to score in different ways and just alter block shots and rebound. They're really solid. So, I anticipate it's going to be one of those 2 probably heading to the Coast.
All right, well, let's keep it rolling here.
All right, well, we have top-seeded Kohler. They'll get either St. Mary's Springs or Dodgeland in the regional title. Horicon and Random Lake will face off. Winner takes on Manitowoc, rather. Luther who earned the 4 seed. Howard's Grove comes in at number 3. They'll get the victor of Roncalli or Marquezan. Number 7 Laconia and number 10 Cedar Grove Belgium go head-to-head. Winner moves on to face number 2 Sheboygan Lutheran.
All right, keeping it rolling here. Milwaukee Juneau gets a bye as the top seed. They'll host the winner of Living Word Lutheran and Kenosha Christian Life. Milwaukee Lifelong Learning matches up with Racine Lutheran. On the other side, we have Kenosha St. Joseph's as the 3 seed. They await the winner of Prairie School and Williams Bay. Destiny and St. John's match up in the 7-10 game. The winner of that moves on to play Heritage Christian.
And Mineral Point is another team that stands out in Division 4. The Pointers sitting at 21-1 while being one of the top teams in the SWAL Conference. That sole loss coming from Darlington, and head coach Dan Burrison counting his blessings, though, as the program retained 8 guys from the class of 2024. Burrison says it's hard to find a group who loves the game more than this one.
I think they're just excited to come to practice every day, and I think that's been the key to to what we've been able to accomplish so far. I mean, it's a group of guys that get along really well together. So I just think the fact that they get along well, good on and off the court, and I'm just excited to get to practice every day and get better, and still focused on the regular season here at this point in time, and then after next week we'll start to get ready for the tournament.
Such an exciting team turning defense into offense, too. Just had to say that real quick.
For sure. Well, we've seen the full D4 bracket now, Mark. What stands out from this one? What are you looking forward to most?
Well, when you start talking about D4 and D5, you talk about those teams that play up during the regular season, like Kenosha St. Joe's. They made it all the way to the championship game. They're a 3 seed. They probably have 7 or 8 losses, but their schedule, Thomas More twice, Dominican twice, St. Catherine's twice. They played Milwaukee Academy of Science. So you're going to lose a few of those. But that's a team, I think, to keep an eye on. Obviously, the winner of Darlington Mineral Point. And, I really like the Marathon team. They're just, they have a difference maker. 6'10" guy that can score inside and outside in Grant Warren. He can run the floor, he can block shots. And not a lot of D4 teams have a 6'10" kid that can do all those things, and he's going to Michigan Tech on a D2 scholarship next year, and for good reason, because he's a very good player.
Well, 4 divisions down and 1 to go. We're going to hear from some of the top teams in Division 5. That's all coming up next.
Welcome back to our WIAA Bracket Reveal show for the high school boys basketball tournament.
We are on the home stretch as we've reached the final division of the brackets, guys. Why don't we just keep it on rolling, keep going with momentum. Sectional 1 in Division 5, the matchups, number 1, Solon Springs, and number 16, Prairie Farm. We have number 9, Bruce. They're going to face off with number 8, Clear Lake. Number 5, New Auburn. They're going to battle number 12, South Shore. And then number 4, Turtle Lake. They're going to go up against number 13, Luck. That closes out that side. Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran, the number 3. They will face off with 14, Frederick. Clayton and Northwood in the 6 versus 11. Siren and Glenwood City, that's going to be the 7 and 10. And then number 15, Le Coudray, they drew number 2, Birchwood.
Rib Lake gets the top seed in the next bracket against Butternut, Thorpe, and Bayfield in the 8 versus 9 matchup. Flambeau will host Lake Holcomb. Owen Withy gets the 4 seed against Mercer. On the other side, Winter hosts Gilman. Hurley plays host to Mellon. Princess will face Athens in the 7-10 game, and Drummond earns the 2 seed against Cornell.
All right, well, taking a look at our first sectional, Solon Springs, or Solon Springs, excuse me, is a team from the northern part of the state that's landed at number 2 in the rankings. Mark, what are you seeing from this group?
Well, they're very talented. They have one of the most athletic players in the state, regardless of division, in Isaiah Castern. You see him dunking there. He can really get up. And, you know, the thing about Castern is he can score inside and outside. He's got a nice three-point jumper. But, you know, he can just be dominant at times. And then they surround him with a bunch of experienced players. Dylan Taggart, their point guard, can really shoot and really, you know, runs the show for them. So they came so close last year to get to get into Madison for the first time in school history. They lost in overtime in a sectional semi to McDonald Catholic. So I think they're even that much more hungry this year to take that final step and to come all the way to the Kohl Center. And I wouldn't bet against them. They're a very good team.
All right, you heard it from here first. Well, let's keep moving on. We now take a look at Almond Bancroft. Will await the winner of Northland, Lutheran, and Wild Rose. Then Wabeno Laona battles Rochalt. Winner takes on the victor of Tri-County and Tigerton. The next side, Pacelli and Gresham will meet in the 3 versus 14. White Lake and Newman Catholic fight for the other regional title spot. Meanwhile, Marion and Elko clash on the hardwood. Finally, 3 lakes. The 2 seed takes on Bowling.
Staying with sectional 2, Reedsville comes in as a top seed against Valley Christian Oshkosh. St. Thomas Aquinas hosts Goodman Pembine. Florence matches up with Gibraltar. Niagara will see Lena in the first round. And we jump to the other side where Gillett hosts Sevastopol. Oneida Nation plays against Wasaki. Green Bay New Lutheran and Hilbert in a 7-10 matchup. Then it's Lord's Academy versus Surrey. Well, let's talk about the top team in the division. Columbus Catholic, 22-1 record, leading the way in D5. Why have they been so good this season?
Yeah, they are very senior dominated. Their entire starting lineup for most of the year anyway is all 5 seniors. So, and many of those kids have played up for 2 or 3 years, in some cases 4 years. Joe Konitschke, the coach there, does a great job. His son Emmett is a senior who was hurt for a while but is back now. One of the better shooters from distance, but can also score off the dribble. Blake Jacoby is a very heady point guard who really gets it done from the perimeter and makes great decisions. And then, you know, they surround them with guys like Charlie Moore who could go off for 5 or 6 threes in a game. And, you know, inside they're not really a big team. That's maybe their one weakness. But they have a Kreklo who is about 6'2", 6'3", and is physical. And that gives them, you know, they have some depth, too, to go along with those 5 senior starters. So they're a really good shooting team. They make really good decisions with the ball, and they defend. So they're going to be a tough team to beat.
All right, well, speaking of Columbus Catholic, let's get to their bracket. In sectional 3, they earn the top seed against Cooley Christian. Pittsville plays Loyal. Fort Edwards matching up against Elva Strum. Then it's Alma Center Lincoln versus Gilmanton. On the other side, we have 3rd-seeded Cochrane Fountain City seeing New Lisbon. Assumption will host Plum City Elmwood. Alma Pepin is the 7th seed against Blair Taylor. And 2nd-seeded Royal plays host to Greenwood.
All right, well, number 1 Potosi, they will take on number 16 Waniwak Center. Then Seneca and Hillsboro. Then we've got Ithaca, Kickapoo, Weston, North Crawford, River Ridge on the other side at the number 3. They're going to take on number 14 Lafarge Youth Initiative. Then Cassville and DeSoto in that 6 versus 11. Highland and Wazeeka Steuben in the 7-10. And then Cashton and Brookwood in the 2-15. Then Abundant Life Christian earning the number 1 seed. They will take on number 16 Judah, number 9 Albany, and number 8 Monticello. Then in the 5 versus 12, Argyle and Rio will go head-to-head. 13 and 4, Madison Country Day and Southwestern. To the other side, number 3 Shullsburg versus number 14 Benton. Number 11 Belmont, they're going to take on number 6 Fall River. Then in the 7-10, Pecatonica taking on St. Ambrose. And the head-to-head finally in the 2 versus 15, Barneveld and Blackhawk.
In the final bracket of the day, Salam earns the top seed and will play Catholic Central. Elkhart Lake Glenbeulah matches up against Faith Christian. Palmyra Eagle as the 5 seed and will play Cambria Friesland. Eastbrook Academy against Wayland Academy in the first round. On the other side is Central Wisconsin Christian against Sheboygan Christian. Ozaki faces Chesterton Academy. Houstonburg is seeded 7th and will play Johnson Creek. Then it's Oakfield as the 2 seed against University Lake School.
Wow, now we've got the full picture of Division 5. Mark, real quick, what do you think of D5?
Well, there's a lot of teams that potentially could win D5. And, I think that the favorites maybe in some of the other divisions are a little heavier, if you will, like De Pere and Wisconsin Lutheran, for example. So it's open. A team like Salam, they're a 1 seed. Nobody knows anything about them. They play in a new conference called the Lake City, but they have a good team. They have a young man by the name of Ahmad Badwin, who's averaging over 30. Had a chance to see him play. Big, strong, physical kid that can shoot it, get to the basket off the dribble. So that's a team to keep an eye on. And then, of course, we mentioned it before, but I think with D5, it's even more of a factor when teams drop down, when they play D4 or maybe even D3 teams during the regular season. Like, for example, Columbus Catholic is going to play Bloomer in that Clover Belt Championship game. That's D3 against D5. I think that only helps those teams that in D5 when they play that tougher schedule.
Exciting things as well. So there are the brackets, but don't worry, we have a little bit more Who Could Be Mr. Basketball plus Mark State Champ predictions.